Standard 4th, subject English, topic Sultan Ghiyasuddin in the Qazi's court. Good morning, students. We are going to start with our 13th chapter of English, that is Sultan Ghiyasuddin in Qazi's court. It is a nice story about the Sultan of the eastern province of Bengal, and he was a good ruler. But one day, accidentally, he did a mistake, and the lesson is all about what happened in the Qazi's court when the mistake was done. So let us see what is given in the story. We will read the chapter and see what is the story about. So 13th chapter, Sultan Ghiyasuddin in Qazi's court. Hundreds of years ago, in the eastern province of Bengal, Sultan Ghiyasuddin Azam Shah ruled the land. His capital was Sonargaon. Sultan Ghiyasuddin was a good ruler. He ruled wisely and well. He respected man of learning. He had a deep regards for law. Province means territory. Men of learning means educated or knowledgeable person. Regard for law, care for law. Now let's read the second paragraph. One day, while the Sultan was practicing with his bow and arrows, he accidentally wounded the only son of a poor widow. The wounded boy did not survive. Weeping and wailing, the poor widow went to the Qazi and told him what had happened. So now here, survive means continue to live. Wailing means crying loudly. The Qazi was an honest and upright man. He sent an officer to summon the Sultan to his court. When the officer reached the palace, the guards stopped him and inquired about his business. When they learned that he had come to serve a summons on the Sultan, they were shocked. They refused to let him go inside the palace. The officer was now in a fix. The guards did not allow him to enter the palace, but he knew that he could not return without serving the summon. The Qazi would not take him back. He had to find a way of reaching the Sultan somehow. What could he do? He thought and thought. So here, summon means to order someone to come. Upright man, honest and just person. Summons, a written notice ordering someone to appear in the court. At last, he began to sound the azan, the call for the prayer, loudly, just outside the palace. It was not yet the time for the prayer. When the Sultan heard the loud, untimely call, he was greatly surprised. He ordered that the man giving the call should be brought before him immediately. In a fix means in a difficult situation. Now, his soldiers rushed out for the palace gate, caught the officer and took him to the Sultan within moments. When the officer knelt before the Sultan, he was trembling with fear. But he mustered all his courage and explained why he had given the call for azan. Then, with shaking hands, he gave the summons to the Sultan. Sultan Ghiyasuddin took it without making any comments. He read the summons and told the officer to go back to the Qazi. He announced that he would appear in the Qazi's court the next day. So here, trembling means shake with fear. Mustered means gathered. Now, the next morning, the Sultan got ready to appear before the Qazi. He hid a sharp sword in his robe and set out. So here evidence means information to show the proof. Grave means serious. The courtroom was packed with people. Everyone was eager to see what would happen. The Qazi entered and took his place on the high seat of honor. In a little meanwhile, Sultan Ghiyasuddin entered the courtroom. Everyone stood up to show respect to the Sultan. But the Qazi did not get up. The Sultan stood in the docks and the trial began. Here, dock means an enclosed space in the court of law. The widow presented her complaint. The Qazi took note of all the evidence and in a grave voice addressed the Sultan. You are guilty of causing the death of the only son of this poor widow. According to the law, you must pay a fine for this offense. I order you to do that without delay. Offense means crime. The Sultan accepted the judgment and apologized to the widow. He arranged to pay the fine immediately. The widow felt satisfied that the offense was brought home to the offender. When the case was over, the Qazi got up from his high seat of honor. Respectfully, he bowed to the Sultan and requested him to take the seat. Apologized means express regret for something. Offender, a person who have done something wrong. The Sultan then drew the hidden sword from his robes and told the Qazi, I am happy that you did not waver in your duty. You did not hesitate to punish me, otherwise, I would have beheaded you with this sword. Waver means become unsure, hesitate. The Qazi then put his hand under the cushion where the Sultan was seated and brought out a whip. He said, Your Majesty, I am happy because you obeyed the law. Otherwise, I would have whipped you in this court. The Sultan then got up and embraced the Qazi. Thank God we both did our duty, he said. Everyone present in the court praised the two great men. So, students, this was our lesson. Now, let's move to the question answer section. For this chapter, we have 3 questions. The first question is answer the following with yes or no. So, here you can see the answers for those questions. The second question is give reason for the following. In this question, you have 4 questions for which you have to give the reason. As you can see, 1, 2 and 3 are given here and the fourth one is here. Then comes your third question, which is give opposite of the following words. So the 10 opposites are given over here. You can write it in your book. Okay, students, thank you.